Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and I'm back with another gaming discussion video. And I took a couple days off because I wanted to prepare for the Nintendo Switch presentation that Nintendo had broadcasted here down in the East Coast, Eastern Time at 11 p.m. So it was kind of late, but I'm very excited. Have a whole bunch of things I really want to talk about and discuss as far as the presentation is concerned. Before I jump into it, I have my notes in front of me because I can't remember everything all at one time because everything was just hitting me and I was just so excited. So don't mind me if you hear the pages flicking because I have so much notes and stuff. So let's just jump right into it. Let's just get into it. So for starters, Kashima steps on the stage for the Switch introduction, and of course everybody wanted to know, because I wanted to know as well. I wanted to know about the date, and I was surprised of how early that we'll be getting our hands on the Nintendo Switch, which is March 3rd. Now, it seemed like this year, mainly March has a whole lot of things going on for itself as far as comic book movies and just anime, everything in general. And plus it's my birthday in March as well. So March 3rd will be the release of the Nintendo Switch. So I am super excited about it. And then we have the price. They finally gave us the price. Now, from the rumors and the leaks that were going around, there's pretty much talking about that, people speculating that it will probably be $250. That was the ballpark estimation for the Nintendo Switch console, and everybody happened to be wrong because the Switch is $300, and to me, it's still, a fair price range for me. $300, not bad. I'm going to buy it regardless, but $300 I think is just right. If it was $250, I'll be even happier, but $300, that's just about right. And then they talked a little bit about their online service. They didn't go into greater detail about it because they said they wanted to wait to later on to go into a full explanation. So as far as their online multiplayer is concerned, they will have an online service, and they were saying something that was interesting. I wasn't sure. I may have to look at the video again, but he was pretty much saying that you're able to connect your mobile device to the Nintendo Switch to host matches, schedule matches, communicate with other players over the internet. So are they saying that instead of having a microphone or whatever type of communication device, everything will be done through your mobile device by connecting it to the Switch? So I'm not really sure what he meant by that, by connecting your mobile device to be able to interact online, with its features with the Nintendo Switch. So I'm not sure what he meant by that, but it sounds interesting if it is what I think it is. And then he also stated by fall that it will be a paid service. Now, a lot of people were kind of iffy with the paid service and stuff like that, but the paid service doesn't bother me. I mean, come on, Microsoft had done it, and then the PlayStation fanboys was bashing the Microsoft fanboys about how the PS3 is free and you have to pay for Xbox Live. But to me paying for Xbox Live, I think Xbox Live had always had the better service at that time. And then once we moved on to the PS4, Sony had flipped the switch, and all of a sudden they went to a paid subscription service, and the fanboys had just disappeared with that argument. All of a sudden they were okay with it. So it would only make sense that Nintendo followed in the same footsteps. Now people are wondering, well, if we are paying for a subscription, Nintendo better give us some good service. Now I don't know what it is. A lot of PC players don't have to worry about paid subscriptions because their internet provides everything as far as that's concerned. But to me, it seems like paid subscription, I think it would have benefits, I guess, with the better patches being on time and all these other things when you pay for the online service for the consoles and stuff. So it really makes sense for Nintendo to do the same thing. And then last but not least, as far as the consoles, the release date and everything, we also have the fact is that now there will be no region lock for this console, and the thing is, region lock has never been a big deal to me or whatever, because I really never played any of the foreign games or the games that never came to the US, but I know it matters to a lot of other people and stuff like that. So it's a good thing, for not having the region lock for those people who like to play games that weren't released here in the US. So power to the players, power to the customers. So that's a good thing. So then I'm going to butcher these names, and I was taking notes while I was watching this. So next up we had Takahashi. He comes on stage and he talks about how the Nintendo Switch, which I never thought about, it's brilliant. he talked about how the Nintendo Switch is pretty much a combination of all their generation Nintendo consoles, and all together, not even just the consoles, but the handhelds all together. And I didn't notice that even with the Joy-Cons, that's nothing more than the original Famicom controllers. And then you have the touch screens, you have the motion controls from the Wii, and then you have the portableness by playing it playing your games off screen, like the Nintendo Wii U gamepad. So it's brilliant, and I've never seen it that way. But yes, it seemed as though they took all of the best features of their consoles and put it all into one package with the Nintendo Switch. So after that, they pretty much Takahashi pretty much showed what the system is capable of doing, and what the Joy-Cons, excuse me about that, what the Joy-Cons can pretty much do. So the play styles, he wanted to go into greater depths about the play styles, and these play styles are pretty much what we've already known and we have already seen already. And you got the play styles like the TV mode, the handheld mode, and everybody was also wondering what would the battery life be, because now we're playing AAA titles and more heavy intensive high performance games now on the go. And he said depending on the game, from 2 to 6 hours, so in between 3 hours, 3 hours is your median right there. So that's good. You got the touch screen. Then also you have 8 switches Nintendo Switches can pretty much connect together for local multiplayer, so that's a good thing. All right, so next up we have Yoshiaki Kusumi. He was pretty much going to more detail about the Joy-Con with the Joy-Con grip, and I do like how with the Joy-Con they have the little the left button, the right button, like the shoulder buttons and everything. But and I'm also amazed. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm excited and there's so much things hitting me. But it has an NFC reader on the thumbstick itself. This controller, this Joy-Con can do everything, and that's amazing. I can see why. If this controller is expensive, I know this has to be an expensive controller. This controller can do so much, and it's everything built into this one controller. This small Joy-Con can do pretty much everything. So it can pretty much read your amiibos and everything like that. It have gyro technology for motion controls, and it has a share button. For now, it's only for be able to share screenshots on social media, but I guess through an update they're going to be talking about you're able to share gameplay, show gameplay footage, and record and stuff like that. So that is definitely a good thing. And then they showed the red and blue Joy-Con colors with the wrist straps, similar to the Wii remote. And that was also interesting because once you put the wrist strap on, it gives you better shoulder buttons, much bigger shoulder buttons for more comfortable play. And with the wrist straps, he brought us into this new game, which to me is going to be the new Wii Sports. It's called 1-2 Switch, which is very interesting because they showed this Western type of game, type of setup and presentation of what to expect from it. And I understand where they're going with this. You'll be able to play the game without using the screen. Your opponent and your game is the opponent, the person that's standing in front of you. So I see where they're going with this. Now I see a lot of people upset about like Review Tech USA. He was upset at the fact is that no one's going to ever play something like this, or people's not going to gather around to play this type of game. Now the way I see it is these games are nothing more but tech demos, and it's just to show what people what the system is capable of doing. And I don't see nothing wrong with this or whatever like that. It's something to just mess around with, play around with. Now I do know back when I was in college, and a lot of college students does it too. A lot of college students have game nights, and they have game nights where they gather together in the recreation room, and they do little fun silly things like this. So I can see this being this is like an optional thing. This is not something that's mandatory or whatever like that, but this is just to give you a glimpse of what the Joy-Con is capable of doing. So I don't see nothing wrong with this. And then he jumped into, and then Koizumi also jumped into the next game that utilized the Joy-Con, which is the game called Arms. Arms looked pretty interesting. The moment they showed the characters, I just automatically got in my head, these characters are going to be on the next Smash Brothers. These are new Nintendo characters. Best believe because they will do another Smash Brothers, best believe that these characters will find their way on in Smash Brothers. Now, I like the character designs. I love the visuals. It's very colorful, and the characters for some reason remind me of Overwatch characters for some reason. I don't know why. And it also had like a Power Stone type vibe to me as well. I don't know why. But this is nothing more but another type of tech demo to show what you can do with the Joy-Cons as well. It reminded me of the Wii Sports boxing game and everything, but more strategic, more action oriented and everything. And the good thing they also said about it is that they will be implementing an online feature to the game, so you'll be able to play online against, you know, online opponents and everything. So I don't see nothing wrong with this. I think this is pretty good, especially for something to get people into the system and get people excited to look forward to what other features they may add to future games. So I think that was pretty cool. Also, before I jump off of this topic, the IR, the IR camera, that it also detects, you know, hand motions from paper, rock, scissors, and how the distance between the person's hands and stuff like that with the motion. So that's very, very interesting. So this is going to be an expensive controller. Then we have next up we have Splatoon 2. They revealed that. I never played the first one, so I'm excited for this one. I want to give it a try. Hopefully they add voice chat to it and everything. They added dual wielding weapons, new stages, controls, Joy-Con. You got the Pro controller, you got handheld mode, TV mode, gyro controls, and it's supposed to be released this summer. So we'll be getting more information on it later. But I will be definitely picking this up. I want to definitely give it a try. And playing Splatoon on the go and playing portable and have friends come over and everything, I think that will be pretty interesting. So I can't wait to see how that'll turn out. I'm definitely going to get into the game. And then we have, excuse me, with the papers flicking and everything. This is what got me going crazy. I flipped my wig when the screen switched over to the next game and it showed the city. Now I thought it was still going to be Splatoon because the city looked kind of similar to it. So the city looked kind of similar to, you know, New York City and everything. So I sat there, the camera, you know, focused on the sewer, and I still didn't understand what game they were showing us. And then once Mario jumped out, I said, "What? Mario in the city?" It looked awesome, but so out of place. But then it showed him running around the city and everything. I said, "Oh my god!" And I seen the environments and the different areas and stuff. And the moment I saw the different areas, especially the forest stage and everything, when everything was said and done, the feel that I got from this Mario Odyssey trailer, I felt that old Mario 64 type of feeling from this game. I got that vibe from this game, and it brought me back to my childhood and what I enjoyed most about Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64 played an important role in my life as a gamer and as a kid growing up playing 3D games. It was something about Mario 64. It was the open worldness about it, and exploring and see what the world had in store for you as a player, and you had to figure out the riddles and the puzzle and how to find the stars and everything. And it seemed like this Mario Odyssey is bringing that type of feel back to it. This whole open world. It looked like it had weather effects. Now Mario have new abilities. He can throw his hat, and he can use his hat as a platform to jump on. To jump onto other platforms. And I can see this a lot of puzzle solving, that will utilize Mario's hat, so this game really got me excited, and it just brought me back to my childhood when I seen it. And then we have the new Xenoblade 2. Xenoblade 2 looks amazing, and when the moment I saw Microsoft, I said I automatically knew it had to be a Xeno game, because I remember the creator behind the Xeno series. He was already talking about that the next Xeno that he worked on, because he heard the fans backlash about the whole created character thing, and the created character didn't feel like they were immersed in the world and everything, and it was lacking in character depth and stuff. So he said that the next Xeno game that he's going to make is going to be more character driven, like it was in the original Xenoblade Chronicles. So when I saw this, I said, you know what, this is going to be Xenoblade, and this is Xenoblade 2. So for them having Xenoblade 2, it's kind of having me thinking that maybe that these Xenoblade games are going to be two different franchises. Like, for example, Xenoblade 2 is letting us know that, hey, this is going to be probably a continuation of Xenoblade Chronicles, the original game, with Shulk and his friends. So it may continue off from that story. And then we have the one that was on Wii U, Xenoblade Chronicle X, that could be its own franchise, meaning that the Xenoblade Chronicle X could focus more on online play, creating your avatar and communicating with other players, but they'll take it to a whole nother level if they decide to go that route for the Nintendo Switch. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I know this game will probably be most likely way off from now. And then Square Enix, no, before we jump into Square Enix, they also show Fire Emblem Warriors, which I'm not really a Dynasty Warriors fan. To me, it's very repetitive and everything, and it felt button mashy. But I did like Hyrule Warriors because it was Zelda characters, but with Dynasty Warrior gameplay and stuff. And the Dragon Quest was pretty good in that type of style or whatever, but they doing a Fire Emblem, so I can't wait to see what they do with the Fire Emblem. I may or may not get it because, like I said before, I'm not really a Dynasty Warriors type of gamer or whatever. But it's power to the people who likes both Fire Emblem and likes Dynasty Warriors. So there's nothing wrong with having that. And then we have Square Enix. They talked about Dragon Quest 10 and 11, but they said the way they said it though, and the way they worded it, Dragon Quest 10 and 11 coming to Japan. It's like they left out Europe and US. So are we going to even get Dragon Quest 10 and 11 at all? I'm not sure. I mean, we had Dragon Quest Heroes recently, like last year or whatever. So will we be getting 10 or 11? And so they were very vague about that. And then they said that Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 will be coming to the Switch. So both of those will be coming. And then Atlas, they did their small little teaser of Shin Megami Tensei. I don't really have much to say about that. I was really never into that series, but it looks kind of weird or whatever. But there's not much more to go off of. But it's power to the Shin Megami fans with that. And then Square Enix had another project. It's called Project Octopath Traveler, which is a 2D RPG. It was like one of those old school 2D RPGs because they used 2D sprites, and it looked interesting. It looked like Final Fantasy Tactics and Vagrant Story a little bit, the way the visuals look and everything. It was very vague. They didn't really put too much info out on that, so I want to wait and see. But it looked like something I may pick up and try. Toshihiro from Sega, he came out and talked a little bit about projects that they're working on for the Switch. And then Todd Howard from Bethesda, he talked about Skyrim. And then we had Suda51. He's talking about how Travis Touchdown may be making a return, but in what form we don't know. But that's really, really good for the fans who really does enjoy, who did enjoy the No More Heroes franchise. I never really played them. Keo, he has 1 and 2. He's a big fan of No More Heroes, and I like watching him play the game. So that's really good. So hopefully we'll find out more about that. But during the whole Suda51 presentation, the translator he messed up during the whole thing. He really messed up. He really dropped the ball in the translation real bad. And me and my brothers and I were cracking up because it was very cringe. It was very cringe worthy. I had to face palm the whole time. So I'm not sure if he messed the translation up or if he's looking at a teleprompter and the information didn't show up for him to read. I don't know what happened, but you heard him in the background go, he sighed real hard and he couldn't catch himself. And so it was just very embarrassing during that presentation. Then we have EA Studios. They talked about FIFA, which I don't really care about sports, don't care about soccer, but if you like soccer, all power to you. So, and then after that, they talk a little bit more about the Nintendo Switch, what it includes. It includes a Joy-Con, the wrist grip, the dock, HDMI cable, AC adapter, but the Pro Controller separately, no duh. And then last but not least, they talked about, they showed the trailer to the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and man, I'm blown away. I'm looking forward to this game. The voice acting makes the game even more impressive and more hype. The story looks even more developed. Like I said, every Zelda game, ever since Wind Waker came out, after Wind Waker, the stories, the characters, it became more story driven, which I like, and more cinematic, and it invested me more into the lore of Hyrule and in its characters and everything. And this is another step up, the whole voice acting and everything, the cinematics, and it looks like Link have other friends that may be traveling with him. I'm not saying they will be playable, but it seems like they may be playing an important role in this game, and I always wanted a Zelda game, which I'm gonna make a separate video. I'm not gonna go into detail about this, but I always wanted a Zelda game where Link had other characters that would join him on his quest to save Hyrule, and get into more character development about those characters to expand the lore of the Zelda franchise. So I'm super excited, but I almost fell to the floor once they gave us the release date, which is going to be a launch title. So I am super happy. March 3rd will be the release of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Too bad we have to wait to the holiday for Mario Odyssey, but hey, I got Zelda, so I'm pretty cool with that. But that's pretty much it for the whole presentation itself. It's still hitting me hard right now of trying to just digest all this information all at once, but I'm super excited for it. And I was wondering, hey, when I'll be able to pre-order this console. And from the rumors that GameStop and other rumors about it, that Nintendo may pull another Wii type of demand, supply and demand, where there might be a low supply of them. And the rumors talking about some GameStops may have 10 to 20 Nintendo Switches or whatever like that. So who knows if that's true or not or whatever. But I really wanted to know, like, how I'm going to be able to pre-order this game. And like you know, it was late at night. You know, GameStop didn't have any information about whether or not you could be able to pre-order or not. So I was really bummed out about it, and I was about to go to bed. But luckily, NintendoFanGirl had sent me a message on Answer My Status concerning the Nintendo Switch pre-orders, and she sent me a link to Best Buy to where I can reserve it. And I live in Philadelphia, so too bad they didn't have the pre-order for the one closest to me that's like 10 minutes away. I was only able to reserve it in Philadelphia in the Northeast, so I have to, you know, get in the car and drive down the expressway and take me 45 minutes to get there. But hey, it's worth it. So I end up pre-ordering it. So I'm excited. It's all paid off, and I can't wait to get my hands on this. So I want to thank NintendoFanGirl for that. I'll leave her channel in the link in the description below. You can check her channel out as well. But that wraps everything up, and let me know what you guys think of the Nintendo Switch presentation. Was you guys satisfied? Was you guys disappointed? What games are you looking forward to? And if you guys have a topic that you want me to discuss, make sure you leave that in the comment section below. This is MugenLord, signing off.